Alright, we meet again for the next session on our third episode of Portable. Apa nama? MKAW je. Our third episode of MKAW Podcast. Together with me, Brother Adib, and also Student Sharifah from the Student Union representative. So, we're gonna ask a few questions first before we playing a game. I think, or maybe we just play a game. Right. During the game itself, we're gonna have some questions. Okay, so the game itself named as fact or fiction. So in my hand, we have two types of paper or two types of writing, which is a fact or fiction. So each of you will have, I think like each of you will have these two fact and fictions. So the game is so easy. It's basically like true or false only. So when I give you some statements, you need to, on my count, 1, 2, 3, you need to put up whether is it a fact or a fiction. Okay? So easy, right? Easy? You guys understand it? Okay. So are you ready? Never mind, I'm gonna give you some time to think back the answer. Okay, I think. All right. It's a statement. Young leaders are lack of experience in making an effective decisions. Is it a fact or fiction on my count? On 3, 2, 1, go. Wow, we have a contradict answer. So, Adib, why it is a fiction for a young leaders to have a lack of experience?
If you define experience, for me, I find it not in terms of management, but as opinions. Because if you ask about how, for example, management based, of course, I would say we lack experience in that. But lacking experiencing what we are in our status quo is very much of what we do. Because young leaders are basically our main, not our main strength, but somewhat of our main agenda is voicing out what we feel. Of course, other generations they might not feel this, so it's something that we need to voice out, especially experiencing our current values and our current status quo. It's hard to say that we are experienced in leading something or being part of certain management-based organizations, but in experiencing our current day-to-day life and activities, it's something that we should do. And it's something that is also present in other generations, old, young, new, regardless. But the fiction I find most is where people think just because of that, people will label young leaders or students as incapable.
Right. Yeah, it's a good insight. Thank you, Adib. And why it is a fact for you?
Young leaders lack experience.
Yeah, in making effective decisions.
I think it's not gonna be as good as I did lah. Um, I think anyone young leaders. I think also because they're young, they lack experiences, and even if you're old as well, you still lack experiences. There's always more experience to learn, and just because you make a bad decision, you does not mean that it's the end or anything. You can still learn more, but you're bound. You're young. You're a young leader. You're old leader. Ke tak kisahlah. You're bound to make some bad decisions, and I think that is itself is an experience. Begitulah.
Yeah, I think like wow, there's another point of view. How actually making a bad decision is not always bad. Sometimes we learn from that and we make an improvement. Betul Adib? Alright, thank you. Next. Next question. Panjang betul soalan dia. Some students are likely to join the society or the club just to make changes based on their desire. That means like someone just participating in the society or club just to make changes on what their desire. Is it a fact or fiction on my count? 1, 2, 3.
It's bound to be debate at one point.
Yeah, it's a good thing because we can discuss it or maybe like everyone have a different opinion on it. So I think Sharifah first maybe why it is a fact.
Because I've heard a lot of people that are like that. Just okay. What?
I'm just spewing somewhere.
I just know a lot of people who memang enter a society or a club because they want specific changes. Whether or not it's bad or good, we will never know. But there are people like that. It might be a good thing that that is what's driving them to make a change. It might be a bad thing if the change they want to make is selfish. But there are people like that.
Yeah, I really understand that.
For me, I find it that some people, of course, they want to join for change and for desire, but it's not simply the only motivation for people to participate or join, because some people, they just want to be part of something, for example, to feel belonged, or they will be part of it to try something new, or it's simply just a phase in your life where you're suddenly a part of a committee where you've never heard of it before. Like even for me, when I was year one, I was appointed as the treasurer of Masjid. It brings some people to question because they wouldn't see that as a personality in which I will be taking part. But of course, being young leaders, it's something which we feel and try. Sometimes we don't necessarily bring change, or we want what we want. Just because I like sports, for example, doesn't mean I will join dakwah-based societies or academic-based societies.
Sport or not you?
Oh, this is an example. Less sports here.
All right. So the next question. This is not planned question. I think like does IIM community Kuantan students are lacking of leadership? Is it a fact or fiction? Okay, one, two. Does the community of students in IIM Kuantan is lacking of leaderships? One. I do not want to elaborate more my question. 1, 2, 3, go.
Oh, she's purposely doing that.
Okay, so why is the fact?
Because firstly, I myself, I wouldn't say as being the most experienced leader. Experience isn't an end goal. Experience is a journey. Just because you, for example, been 10 presidents before, doesn't mean you'll be the best president in a society. What I mean by lacking of experience is that for us, for example, SPM leavers, approaching foundations, and then currently taking societies. Like this year, I'm 22. I wouldn't say that just because I take 10 positions, I'll be better than someone who has taken one position, but he or she is 40 years old now. Because experience itself takes on a lot of forms, and you cannot simply put it that the more you take, the more you're going to be experienced. So the way I see it is that it will always be lacking in experience, but that's how you continuously improve yourself. And that's what I mean by a continuous or a journey form of how you produce the experience for yourself and how you then apply it to the societies or organizations you involve with.
So Sharifah, why the student Kuantan?
I think why I don't know, but how no, sabar. Why they don't want to be leaders? I mean, I do not know why, but it's apparent when I enter student union that we cannot find anyone that wants to be student leaders, and I think like maybe the biggest reason why might be their academics. Yeah, the academics, or they're too scared. They've never done it before, so they don't want to do it. They have dreams, but they don't want to chase it, like that. That's why Kuantan likes.
I think like why you are choosing its effect. What's the evidence that you think we are lack of the leadership? Not evidence, like evidence based, but why do you think that we are lack of leadership for you? Not why they are don't want to be a leader. What makes you think? What makes you think that we are lacking of leadership right now?
Okay. Um, no one except for Nola. No, he's the only one who nominated himself. That's an easy. Yeah.
You know how it's funny when in our confessions group for Kuantan, we have like occasionally some people raising what does the union do, yada yada yada. But then every time there's an election, those are the same people who avoid these elections. Like we would rather voice it out, but we would rather not be part of the change. So yeah, I will agree on that point.
No, is the only one who nominated. He nominated himself, right?
Yeah.
He nominated himself. No one else wanted to be student leaders.
Oh, wow. That's kind of hard take for me. Like I didn't realize that, especially as MRCs. So thank you so much, and gonna continue back later. Bye bye.